Hey, what's going on, everybody? In this video, I'm going to share with you a fat loss meal plan that is actually enjoyable and therefore sustainable to get you all the way to your fat loss goal, whether that's 5 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds. This is the way that I would go about, and this is actually the way that I do go about structuring my diet, even on my current lean bulk. It's the way that I structure my diet, whether I am focused on, cutting some fat, cutting a few pounds of fat, whether I'm focused on maintaining my leanness level, or whether I'm focused on, not only maintaining leanness, but also building muscle. This is the most enjoyable way that you can structure your diet, in my opinion. So let's just see what you can learn from it and take it and run with it. So the first thing you have to understand about fat loss specifically is that fat loss is induced when you eat less calories than your body burns each day. All of us have what's called a total daily energy expenditure. So this is basically your maintenance calories, or the amount of calories that you need to eat each day just to maintain your weight. And so if you're on let's say you weigh 180 pounds, you probably burn about 2,700 calories a day, which is about 15 calories per pound of body weight, which is, pretty average for the moderately, active adult male, 15 calories per pound of body weight. And so really what you want to do is just take your body weight, multiply it by 15. That's going to be a really good starting point for figuring out how many calories your body requires just to maintain its current weight. And what you want to do to lose fat is eat less calories, eat less than that number. So taking the 180 pound male, for example, if you burn 27 or, around 2,700, because here's the thing, this number fluctuates, right? Our maintenance can go up, it can go down. It's not going to be like exactly 2,700, but this is where you have to figure out what your maintenance calories are and basically adjust until you're losing about 1 pound per week. Now that might sound slow, but that is a very healthy and sustainable rate of fat loss. And really, depending on how much fat you lose, you might even be able to push that to a couple pounds per week. But you really want to focus on slowly bringing your body fat percentage down, and not rushing into it. This is the mistake that so many people make, is they try to rush the fat loss journey by drastically dropping their calories, or maybe cutting out the foods that they want to eat, and they think they got to eat clean 100% of the time, and then they give up. They don't actually get to their goal because they give up, because it's not enjoyable, it's not actually sustainable. Maybe they lose fat too fast. And so 1.5, 2 pounds per week, again, this is depending on how much fat you have to lose. That's a very sustainable rate of fat loss. And you do that by eating in a calorie deficit. It's not just what you eat, it is how much you eat. What you eat is important. There are different foods that can help increase your metabolic rate. That is true. Food quality does matter. You need to eat the majority of the time you need to eat healthy, nutritious foods like chicken and beef and potatoes and fruit and things like that. But those things are going to help, but you can still overeat even with highly nutritious foods. Yes, it is more difficult, but the reality is that even if you overeat nutritious foods, you're still going to not be able to lose fat. That is the key, is you have to eat less calories than your body burns each day. And so that's the first point you have to understand when it comes to learning how to create a meal plan that works for you, that it's enjoyable and sustainable. So that's number one. Number two is, I really encourage you, if you want to lose primarily body fat, you need to be training in the gym. You need to be going to the gym. You need to be strength training in the gym, getting stronger on a handful of key exercises that are going to allow you to build muscle, so that or even at the very least just maintain or retain what muscle you do have while your body drops fat. The cool thing about having fat to lose is that you can actually use the fat stores that you have on your body as energy to build muscle. And so this is kind of known as body recomposition, where you increase your muscle mass while your body fat level drops. And so it's kind of this cool body recomposition effect. You can build muscle while also, over the same period of time that you were losing fat. So, but you want to do this by training, by going to the gym, 2 to 3 times a week maximum, to get stronger on a handful of key lifts. So, I'm talking things like, incline bench press, a standing overhead press, weighted chin-ups or pull-ups, maybe some squats, some deadlifts, and then, sprinkling in some accessory exercises here and there, like, bicep curls, hammer curls, tricep rope pushdowns, things like that. There's some things you can do for your, shoulder development as well. But basically, you want to be getting stronger. You want to be training to get stronger over time, because progressive overload is the number one driver and indicator of muscle. You don't want to just lose, you don't want to just lose weight. You want to lose fat, because if you lose weight, you start cutting calories and you're not training for strength, you're not actually going to the gym and getting stronger, you will inevitably lose fat and muscle, and you'll just be a smaller version of yourself. And that kind of goes without saying that having more muscle and decreased fat, increased muscle mass, decreased fat, leads to a healthier life. And you're not just going to look better, you're going to feel better as well. Basically, all markers for all health markers increase, and you are just an overall healthier person. There's longevity benefits. There's overall health benefits to having increased muscle mass and decreased fat. And so you want to train for strength in the gym. So that's kind of the second point I want to make, is not only do you need to eat in a calorie deficit, you also want to make sure that you are training and getting stronger in the gym 2 to 3 times a week on a handful of key exercises that allow you to get as strong as possible and build muscle while you drop fat. So that's the second thing. So let's get into the actual meal plan that is based upon those two, basically the foundation for what I'm talking about. This meal plan is built on those two things, the calorie deficit and getting stronger in the gym. So here's what I recommend if that's your goal and you need to lose fat. The first thing I really recommend is that you would do something called intermittent fasting. This has become really popular in today's kind of fitness world, and I think more and more people are picking up on this in the general public. But this is a really nice tool. Fasting is a really nice tool to be able to save the majority of your calories for later in the day, which is going to help you to eat bigger, more satisfying meals, and it's going to help you. There's nothing magical about it. It's just a tool that's used to help you save your calories for later, to make the diet more enjoyable, because eating in a calorie deficit is difficult. And so the question that you have to ask yourself is, how can I eat in how can I make eating in a calorie deficit as enjoyable as possible? And fasting is one of those ways that will help you to actually enjoy it and sustain it, like I talked about at the beginning of this video. And so what I recommend is, when you wake up, so you wake up at 8 o'clock, I recommend skipping breakfast, pushing your first meal 4 to 6 hours into the day. So if you wake up at 8, eat around 12, eat around 1, maybe 2 o'clock, just push that first meal out, and that's it. That's all I mean by fasting, is just skip breakfast and wait for your first meal. Now, when it comes to breaking your fast, and eating your first meal or two, depending on how many calories you have to work with, for me, if I was to eat in a 400 calorie deficit, that's going to be about 2,800 calories a day, which is a lot of, for a lot of other guys, that would be like their lean bulk calories. That would be like their surplus calories, or maybe their maintenance calories. My maintenance is a bit higher than the average person. I'm pretty active in my job and whatnot, and so I've got 3 kids, so they keep me active, and so my maintenance is around 3,200 calories a day. If you were to take my body weight, it's going to be about 27. It would say that that calculation I used earlier is going to be about 2,700 calories. I'm 500 calories above that. That's how active I am, or that's really how high my metabolism is, I should say. And so basically what you want to do is, you want to make that 2,800, or let's say for you it's 2,100 calories a day. You want to make that 2,100 calories as enjoyable as possible by pushing your first meal later into the day, and 4 to 6 hours. And then basically what you're going to do is, for the first 1 to 2 meals, again, depending on how many calories you have to work with, whether it's 2,000, 2,100, 2,300 for your deficit, you want to make that first meal or two about 25 to 30% of your total daily calories. That's still a decent size meal where you're going to be able to get in, some protein, some fats, some carbs. The way that I have done it in the past is maybe, some peanut butter on rice cakes with some fruits and a protein shake, or maybe the way that I've been doing it recently is having a few eggs with some buttered toast and maybe some fruit or some, fruit juice. I've really been digging on pomegranate juice lately because it's really good for, testosterone, blood flow, and, overall heart health and stuff. So, it could be a few eggs, some buttered toast. Really been liking the Dave's Killer bread from Target. I had my wife start getting me that. It is freaking so good. It's got like the sweetness to it. Dave's Killer bread. It's super good. It's like sprouted whole grain. So I do a couple pieces of that, maybe 3 or 4 eggs. And then some, fruit, maybe a banana, an apple, or maybe some fruit juice. And so that's kind of how I like to break my fast. I think it's somewhere around 600 calories or something like that. Again, you want to make this fit for you. You want to make this enjoyable for you. You may hate eggs, and that's okay. You may not like protein shakes. That's okay. Find sources of protein, fats, and carbs that work for you and that you enjoy. You don't have to eat like anybody else you see on the internet. You don't have to eat and do it like me. This is just how I structure my meals to make them enjoyable. And so the first meal or two needs to be about 25 to 30% of your total daily calories. And so I actually like to do like 2 meals before my big dinner. And so that's it's about 25 to 30% of my total calories. So then the most enjoyable part, in my opinion, is the dinner portion, where you want it to be about 50, 55, 60% of your daily calories. And so if you've got, let's say, 2,000 calories to eat for the day, maybe your big dinner, and 2,000 calories, I mean, you're going to be a pretty small person, but 2,000 calories, you could have 1,000 calorie dinner, maybe a 1,100, 1,200 calorie dinner, and the other 800 to 900, maybe 1,000 calories is where you have, a light meal and maybe a treat, which I'm going to get into here in a second. But basically, for your dinner, 50 to 60% of your daily calories, you're going to feel full. You're going to be satisfied. I recommend eating, this is where you just have so much freedom. As long as you're hitting your protein goal, your fats, your carbs, right? These are called your macronutrients. You're golden. Like I said earlier in the video, yes, healthy, whole, nutritious foods are important. They do have an effect on your metabolic health. Like I said, I recommend having daily fruit juice. I love honey, Greek yogurt for your gut health, chicken, beef, steak, these types of foods, potatoes. I love white potatoes, sweet potatoes, obviously eating whole nutritious foods is important, but you know what? Sometimes, like tonight for dinner, we're kind of undecided on what my wife and I are going to have for dinner tonight and the kids. But, we're talking about maybe having pizza. Like, I have pizza at least once a week, and I'm still reaching my fitness goals for staying lean while I'm also building muscle. Last night, it was my birthday yesterday, turned 31, and we went out for a big dinner downtown Indianapolis, where we live, and I had a big greasy cheeseburger with some French fries, had the pretzel, the long pretzel sticks for the appetizer. Kind of went a little overboard yesterday in my calories because my wife also made homemade chocolate cake with cream cheese, buttercream icing. The whole cake itself is literally over 10,000 calories. And so just my 1/12 of the piece was like 900 calories, according to ChatGPT. So anyways, so I say all of that to just say, like, there's a way to, fit in these foods that you like I just mentioned, cake and cheeseburgers, right? And still be a healthy, highly functioning, lean individual. You can get to your goal incorporating these types of foods. And so having that first, light meal, maybe 2 light meals before dinner that total about 20 to 30%, 25 to 30% of your total daily calories, having a huge dinner, 50 to 60% of your daily calories after that big dinner, which again, could be steak, potatoes, chicken. It could be chicken, rice, and broccoli if you want to go that route. It's whatever you want to make it, as long as you are hitting your protein goals, which I don't think I mentioned this in this video, but 0.7, 0.8 grams per pound of goal body weight is a really good goal to maintain and build muscle. You don't need to go over that. You can go over that if you want. 1 gram, a lot of people recommend 1 gram per pound of goal body weight just to be safe when it comes to protein, but you don't have to go that high. Sometimes I do, sometimes I'm over a gram. A lot of times I'm around 0.7, 0.8, 0.9 grams per pound of body weight. But at the end of the day, I know as long as I'm getting around 0.7 grams per pound of my goal body weight, which is like, right around 140 grams of protein every day, like that's totally fine. And I'm still getting stronger in the gym. I'm building muscle. I'm staying lean. Like that's all that matters, right? And so that's kind of, as long as you're hitting your protein goal and you're staying within your calories, you can get to your goal. And so you have your big dinner, and I said that's the most enjoyable part, but really I think the most enjoyable part is that you can treat yourself every single day if you want to. If you want to, and you like, sweets like I do, and someone got on me a few videos back about, recommending, quote unquote junk food. And I think I did actually use that term to, include junk food in order to, make your diet easier to hit your calorie goals. If you're trying to like lean bulk for fat loss, I think it's very important to include little treats. Maybe that's cookies, ice cream, chocolate, I think is very satisfying. I love eating Reese cups, when I'm doing like a low calorie day, because I feel like chocolate is just very satisfying. There's healthier, chocolate options and ice creams and, things like that for sure. But I think just being able to include little treats here and there that are about 20 to maybe 25% of your total daily calories, there is nothing wrong with that at all. If you save your last 3, 4, maybe 500, maybe even more, depending on how many calories you have to work with. If you save your last 400 or 500 calories for, a bag of Tate's cookies, or 4 or 5 Reese cups or something like that, like you can still lose fat and you enjoy it. Sorry, there's a motorcycle that went by. You're able to enjoy it and sustain it and still be a healthy individual, right? Because you're eating in moderation. You're keeping it around 20 to 25%, while the rest of your diet, for the most part, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, is healthy, whole, nutritious foods. So, what have I said? Number 1, you got to eat in a calorie deficit if you're going to lose fat. Number 2, you need to strength train to build muscle while you lose fat so that you look and feel better. And number 3 is the actual meal plan, is to fast for the first 4 to 6 hours of the day, have 1 to 2 lighter meals that are about 25, 30% of your total daily calories, have a big dinner, and then have a small treat, 20 to 25% of your total daily calories every day. And I promise you, fill this in with the foods that you like, that you enjoy, and find healthy foods that you enjoy as well. If you don't like eating healthy, at the end of the day, you do need to eat a mostly healthy, protein rich, micronutrient rich diet in order to be your happiest and healthiest. But at the end of the day, you can still include things like chocolate and ice cream and cookies into the diet and still get leaner, still lose fat. And so look, if you need help with this, if you want help with this, if you're looking for a way to get started on this fat loss journey, I have put together a free workout routine as well as a nutrition plan for you, a nutrition guide for you. It's called it's my 30-day fitness jumpstart. It is how you can jumpstart your fitness journey, your fat loss journey, to lose your first several pounds of fat just in the next 4 weeks. In the next 30 days, you can lose several pounds of fat while you begin to also build muscle by getting stronger in the gym. This free workout routine and nutrition plan can be found at adamfarrellfitness.com/jumpstart. And I will send it to you in your email for free. After you put your email address in there, when you go to adamfarrellfitness.com/jumpstart, check your junk folder just in case, but I'll send it to you immediately to get you started on losing fat, building muscle, and living a healthier, happier life. and getting lean and staying lean and building muscle. So would love to know where you're at on your journey in the comments below. Would love to know what are you struggling with the most. If I could leave you with one question when it comes to your fat loss journey, what have you struggled with the most? And what was the most helpful in this video? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for following along. Would love for you to, if you're new to this channel, subscribe and like this video and comment below, because it's gonna help the algorithm, recommend this to more and more people so that I can help as many guys as possible get lean, stay lean, and build muscle for life. So that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. I will see you in the next one.